Welcome this morning. Welcome today. We're going to start comfortable. So if you want to sit up, if you want to be in a place that feels like, your meditation posture, that's totally great. If you want to lie down, if you want to be in your favorite chair, lean against the wall, you can be any way that works for you. We are going to be using our hands and arms just a little bit. So if that is available to you, great. It's also something that you can imagine. Okay, so we're starting with a poem. It's kind of been poem week. It seems like poems are the medicine. Poems are always the medicine. It feels like poems have been the medicine lately. So make yourself comfortable, and that might include a little bit of movement. Like, don't feel like you have to go right into this sort of statuesque stillness. You can move around a little bit. You can sort of like like stingrays do in the bottom of the ocean in the sand. They sort of shimmy to cover themselves up a little bit. You could sort of shimmy and settle into your spot. And remember that all the prior tools are still here to support you. So you could do some tapping or some squeezing or pressing. You could do the butterfly hug. And these are especially great, including today's, if you're feeling low on your hug quota or your touch quota, because, most of us are alone more, and certainly if you live by yourself. So giving yourself your own touch, and I know it's not the same, but it's something, being loving touch to yourself. All right, so you're settling in, the body is softening, the breath is opening. This is Relearning Loveliness. This is by Galway Kinnell. The bud stands for all things, even for those things that don't flower, for everything flowers from within of self-blessing. Though sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness, to put a hand on the brow of the flower and retell it in words and in touch, it is lovely, until it flowers again from within of self-blessing. The bud stands for all things, even for those things that don't flower, for everything flowers from within of self-blessing. Though sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness, to put a hand on the brow of the flower and retell it in words and in touch, it is lovely, until it flowers again from within of self-blessing. So if your eyes are closed, you can keep them closed. If your gaze is soft, keep it soft. If you want to have your eyes open and that feels most regulating this morning, that's fine. Letting the words or letting the feeling tone of the poem absorb into your body. Let it trickle down through the parts that feel really accessible, through the parts that feel really soft, and let it also trickle into the parts and maybe around the parts that feel a little more tender or scared or sad, dense, numb. And the invitation this morning is to bring your hands in front of you. And they can be right in front of the belly or right in front of the heart. I have mine a little higher so you can see. Cupped together, so the outer edges of the hands together, and using the hands in a cup-like way. Everything flowers from within of self-blessing. And this is where you can imagine this endless fountain or spring or showering of available resource in whatever form you need it in. So if you are needing this morning some self-compassion, if you are needing some hope or some faith, if you are needing some patience, if you are needing some kindness, whatever it is that you need, you can imagine, and again, you don't have to do this if this feels just not interesting to you. You can just hear the words. You can imagine that the thing, the self-blessing, without doing any of the movement. It can be really powerful to imagine your hands filling with this quality or many qualities that you need right now. And imagine it so clearly that you feel your hands filling up, and then you feel that thing getting to the top, and you feel it almost starting to spill over. And when that happens, you lift it up and you pour it over the top of your head. And you can let it, with your hands or just in your imagination, let it pour down you. And then you come back, because this spring is endless and it is here for you. It wants to be your endless resource. And so you fill your hands again, and then you might throw it over a shoulder or do it up over your head again, and let it pour down. And you bring your hands back, and you do this as many times, as often as it feels like you need, you want. You just keep showering yourself with self-blessing. That quality you need, that resource you need, is right here. It's right here in your hands. Especially if there is a part of you that's hurting, you can shower that area over and over, blessing it with your own touch. Our imaginations are so powerful. Our minds are so powerful. The mind doesn't really know the difference between something real and something imagined. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it doesn't know the difference. So at any time here, you can move into stillness. And at any time, you can continue or come back to this gesture of self-blessing. If you get to a place in the quiet or in the stillness when you're like, oh, I just need a little of this. I need a little mercy. Fill your hands and bathe yourself with that beautiful healing quality, with that presence. If there is emotion rising, if there is emotion from this idea of blessing or from the feeling of touch and being loved by yourself in this way, bless that too. Welcome that too. Bringing it into flow. Bringing every single part of you is welcome here. You might fill your hands with welcome and shower yourself. On those days or in those moments that your body feels scared, or there's fear, there's worry, there's overwhelm, And if you feel it, if that's in the body, you'll feel it in your breath. And you can shower yourself just simply with blessing. You could shower yourself with, of course, I see you. Of course, you're responding this way. Of course, this is here. And on the days or moments that things are really spacious and there's a brightness and an expansive perspective, then you can shower that with blessing, with gratitude, with thanks, knowing that there will always be expansions and contractions. The bud stands for all things, even for those things that don't flower, for everything flowers from within of self-blessing. Though sometimes it is necessary to reteach a thing its loveliness, to put a hand on the brow of the flower and retell it in words and in touch, it is lovely, until it flowers again from within of self-blessing. May you remember your loveliness today. And in the moments that you don't, may you remember self-blessing. If your eyes are closed, let them blink open. Maybe roll your shoulders around today. Start to come into some movement. Good morning. It's so good to be with you. Cats and dogs. That poem it's one of my favorite poems. Lines of that poem come to me just randomly. It's so beautiful. It makes me want to cry. I can send it out if you would like the poem. If you don't think I have your email address, if you could put your email address in the chat and I'll send it to you. Or you could probably just Google Galway Kinnell. The bud stands for all things is the first line of the poem. And let me know how the self-blessing was. I know it can feel a little silly, like, what am I doing? But remember that your brain is really powerful, and those imagined things, imagining it spilling over, it can be like magic. So, okay, I'll send out the poem. Yeah, if I don't have your email, let me know. Be well, my friends. Take good care this weekend. Good care. I'm teaching a class on Sunday. It's an online class, obviously, that you could attend through Ritual Yoga Sacramento, Sunday at 9. And otherwise, I'll see you Monday. Stay in touch. Love to hear from you. Let's stay together in all the ways. We're in this together. All right. You can keep leaving comments. Good. All right. Okay, my friends. Take care.